All right. So I sent my son to Haddonfield because someone wanted tips on how to play this map. I'm gonna walk you through a few. There's 3 buildings that change places. One of them is in this corner, one of them is in the middle in front of the house, and the other one is on the opposite corner. Right, so building, building, building. Where these buildings are can switch. Right, that's the House of Pain. This is the 2-story building, and the other one's also the 2-story building. My recommendation, which I've already failed to do at the start, is to walk by houses, you know. Listen for gens being completed, look for long lines of sight. I've avoided running Corrupt, I've avoided running Discordance. Or just, you know, this is the hardest part of Haddonfield, finding the first survivor. Okay, we're a bit late on this one, I'm afraid. That was terrible. Oh, wow, she actually did me a huge favor there. Yeah, this is where Discordance, honestly, is a great perk to run. They had 2 toolboxes as well, so I guess that was to be expected. Let's get rid of this one. I think we could have gotten David, but I got greedy. I wanted to get this girl. That's alright. So, tips for this map in general. We'll go as we enter from place to place. Pay a lot of attention to which windows are open. Because they will dictate if you need to play around one thing or if you actually cannot afford to. So, immediately as you approach... That gen wasn't being worked on before. Let's hook here and pressure whoever's here. We can also pop it. The 4th person that was not accounted for is probably finishing a gen elsewhere, but we can't help that. Yeah, look at that. They're on the other house. Right, so we know that they're there. We know there's a window there, so... I'm trying to bait her to go through it, but I guess that's not gonna... Oh, there's 2 of them! Oh, that's a shame. I didn't know that. I didn't know there were 2. That's great then. Last person probably will have to come. We know that he's very far. We saw him barbecue. Oh, they're in trouble. Body block the window just in case. Right, so we know the last person's over there. So my idea now is... Oh, they're already killing themselves. Okay, dude. Yeah, do a gen in 3 seconds. Haha, baby killer. Die in 2 seconds. Oh no, better quit. Right, so for example, this house. That window over there, this one always open. This one over there, always open as well. But the which one in the front is open is actually RNG. This time, it was this one over here. Right, so these windows are strong. Oh, you were up here, funnily enough. I gotcha. Right, so the other window that you need to care about is the one on the bottom floor. And this one changes things quite dramatically, actually. You'll see. Because let's say I put this guy in the basement, and I'm camping the basement. If they have this window open right here, which they don't, they have that one instead, they can come out and leave through there. They can also loop me, they can go up, right? They can drop down. I can follow them like this, you know, I drop down, I follow them like this. And then they can go through this window. If I'm too close, or if I'm too far, they can go again and do it, repeat, and when you're too close, they go through that window. That's really strong. If you think that the survivor that you're chasing is a little bit, you know, a little bit not too sharp, you can sometimes pretend to chase one way, and then catch them the other way. You know, bait them into one of the windows, and then do that. Spin burst. Alright, my guys. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this. Can all 4 windows, if you play on DVD mobile, yes. Because of a bug, but otherwise no. There's always gonna be 3. And one of them is gonna be... Okay. Lifted Gaming, thank you so much for the 5 months. I appreciate that. I'll show you some other tricks. This one I learned with a friend of mine, and I really can recommend. So let's say that you are playing around that main building, which always is in the middle. That one never changes. Well, do I even make it? I think she started... I think she stopped... I think I make it because she stopped wiggling for a second. Right. I'm gonna teach you a little trick, okay? If you are running around this main building, swinging inwards will help you. So, if you... When you're chasing someone, vault it. Walk a little bit to the side towards the tree, and then as you fall, do this. Right? I timed it, and if you do this, like I'm showing you, chasing, go a little bit to the side, swing. I didn't pull it off so well. You actually earn time. You actually save time, right? You actually do. Let me pull it off perfectly, like that. And if the survivor is down here, you also hit them. But even if you miss, even if you don't have them do anything, this saves you time. This is what happens when you don't have it. You fall down, you stagger, kinda, and... And for that. So yeah, doing that will actually save you time. That applies for every platform that you can drop and then have to walk backwards into. So yeah. Let's get hit by a third, yes. Before we pick her up. That's a tip for this house. If that window on the side is open, one thing you can do is you can chase a survivor into it like this and then go back and catch them. But again, if the survivor is smart and they wait properly, you're gonna be in trouble. Third, yes. Let's go out for Zarina now. That's it about this house. Remember that this window is here sometimes? This could be, if someone's camping there, you could drop down here, make some noise to save someone in the basement. Basement, there's no shack in this map, so basement's always in the middle. For killers that can defend basement well, Trapper, Hag, Nurse, you know, because she can teleport from anywhere. That's a really, really good thing. I forgot where we're down here. Oh, right, at that window. Should be around here somewhere. Right. So let's go over some of the pallets that spawn around. Don't forget that totems spawn behind the cinder blocks and stuff as a survivor. This little loops, this one's pretty damn strong. This one over here, get rid of this pallet quickly. They can play around that really well. But we'll see the other open sides and show you some of the stuff. These pallets that spawn here are actually pretty good for you. If there's a gen here, I think it's impossible. But if there's no gen, you can sometimes go boom, 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 and swing and hit them. So here, they need to use this pallet well. This is relatively unsafe. If you're here and they drop it, you go around. Don't try to mind game it too much, okay? Let's say I'm chasing someone, and they come around and they drop it. Don't try to be like, bear, because they're gonna keep running and you're gonna lose them. So establish that they're there. And then do the mind game, you know, establish. Here, these ones are very, very safe, especially with a window next to it. They can loop and do a lot of stuff. Sometimes, however, depending on your killer's power, you can do stuff around these. You know, you can put a trap here in this grass and a survivor going away from it would probably step on it, you know, stuff like that. You can shoot from one side with Deathslinger, stuff like that. You can get rid of these pallets, they're quite strong. These ones over here are not so strong, right? The idea on this, in my opinion, is to chase in this direction. Right? And now they drop it, and as you can see, once they drop it, look, they can't run anywhere. They're quite constricted here. So sometimes you can do something if you chase in the right direction, so that when they drop it, you're not the one restricted. They're the one restricted, and you can keep going around it or whatever with Bloodlust and catch up to them and stuff like that. So make sure you're chasing around these in the correct order. For pallets like this, I think mind games sometimes work. You can, let's say I'm chasing a survivor into them. I'm chasing a survivor into this pallet. I can very early be like, oh, and then go back. You know, do something with your reglo, mess with them a little bit. These pallets over here are pretty strong. You'll need to get rid of them. If you're chasing someone from up top, you could swing. There's a window there sometimes that spawns, by the way. You can sometimes swing across the pallet and be on top of it. So don't forget that. This pallet here is actually also quite strong. However, some mind games occur. If someone drops the pallet right now, I can go here, show my red light, and they'll vault back. I can also show myself faking it. They vault back again, bam, hit them. So if you chase in this direction, you can sometimes have chances for mind games. These pallets here are very, very strong, but some killers, you know, a Trapper can put traps in this grass. Deathslinger can shoot through, drag around, and whack. Yeah, you can get hits. Problem. This house right here, House of Pain, is horrible. You have that window there open. Depending on which side opens, the other windows are really, really strong as well. And I'm gonna try to catch these guys before they win the game. Oh, I thought I'd break it. Good enough. Right. Yeah, House of Pain, honestly, it's really, really difficult. If a survivor plays it well, even if you're a strong killer, it can be a lot of trouble. If you're a trap-based killer, you know, trap around it. Don't even try to like chase normally in it. It's honestly not worth it. Where did you go after that? I could. Oh, Jesus Christ! Let's swap this gen and go for this go. I can't believe you didn't run balanced landing. Didn't want to take advantage of my map offering. Okay. I hear someone there. Body block it? We know the other windows. You're faster than Sprint Burst. With Chainsaw. Right. So let's go over House of Pain a little bit, if we can. Okay. We don't have a lot of time, I guess, but... House of Pain. Let's go. We'll let this guy have the hatch or whatever. Problem with this house, it's just super strong. It loops into itself. You go around it, you come out of the window. You go around it, through the window. This pallet, you can actually do something about. If they drop that pallet and you're Deathslinger, you can shoot through there and bring them to your side, or shoot there and bring them to the side. So Deathslinger can play around this fairly well. Trapper, put traps around them and like around places like here, stuff like that. Hag, trap around the good spots and people will step on them. Every other killer has a, basically a really hard time here. I would advise that unless you are really confident you're catching them a little bit off guard, do not engage with like a prolonged chase. A guy healthy that's pretty smart, don't go into a chase there. It could take literally forever. This house here is a little bit easier to deal with. There's a gen here sometimes, or a gen on the second floor. One of the ways back is open. So if you know survivors here, you can, fake go in there, they go through, you come here, they go back, you go there, now you come back, the window's blocked or whatever the fuck, and you deal with it. This pallet over here, you can do, I think you can swing over as well. This is tall, so you can sometimes mind game and get a hit, but not a lot. For these pallets, it's the same as the other idea, alright? If you're here, and you hear steps going, then you go through, no problem. But if by the time you're here, you suddenly hear this injured survivor too loud, do this and go around. They might drop it and go down, They might come around and wait here and be like, huh, gotcha. But if you keep hearing them and you have no suspicion that they might be like camping the pallet, quote unquote, then by all means just go through it so that you save time. If the pallet spawns here, it's the same idea as the other one. You go around and you can try to fake it, but it's difficult. Good survivors, if they know you're faking it while you're doing this, they'll keep running and you might lose them and they might get to other pallets. A problem with Haddonfield. The big houses that are empty on the inside, like the one on that corner. If you're on one side and then survivors keep going around and keep going around and keep going around, those are chases that really aren't good for you. You're going to a corner of a very big map, you're gonna down the survivor, it's gonna be very unpleasant, you're gonna have no information when you down them, you're gonna be very far away from all the other gens. It's difficult. If you have perks like Surge or Ruin that can regress generators, that's awesome. Surge in this map is actually really decent. What else? I think that you should worry about the gen in the middle. There is a gen that always spawns in the street. Sometimes it's closer to the middle, sometimes it's not. And usually that gen is part of your 3 gen. Your 3 gen could be main building, building across the road from main building, and gen in the middle. If you lose a gen in the middle, which is relatively easy to defend for most killers, then you'll have gen in a building, gen behind a huge building, and a gen on the bottom floor of the House of Pain. That can be impossible to defend. So yeah, try to get a person out of the way as quickly as you can. Try to defend, try to not let go of that gen in the middle as much as you can. Hopefully the rest will be bearable. Hopefully in not too much time, this little guide will be outdated because this map has changed. But for now, that's what goes through my mind when I play Haddonfield.